Hey everyone, I'm giving you an update this month from a place that's been really encouraging to my heart. Actually, just over the last 24 hours. I'm here at beautiful Barnabas Landing in British Columbia, wrapping up the culminating retreat for our apprentices in the Church Hub pilot that we've been running the past 6 months across the country. And I have to tell you, being in the room with these apprentices has been one of the highlights of my year. The hunger in the room is palpable. God is stirring people up all across Canada with a genuine desire to pursue Him and His kingdom. And that's not spin. I'm watching it happen in real time. But first, let me give you some context for why this matters to us so much. Rick Heemstra and Faith Today would say that the attrition rate for pastors across Canada sits somewhere around just over 625 pastors per year, meaning that's how many new leaders we need to develop just to break even. And when I talk with other evangelical denominations and educational institutions across Canada, we're probably graduating, I recognize it's somewhat subjective, but probably graduating somewhere around 300 leaders a year. Conservatively, maybe. So the question I keep asking is, how does the church in Canada survive if we're losing leaders faster than we're raising them up? Of course, the Lord is in control. That is our hope. He is our hope. And He is building His church. And that's what I want to tell you. Something is happening. And so this past year, we gathered 34 apprentices from across the country to journey together in relationship and in formation towards discerning God's call and His formation towards vocational ministry into the years ahead. And I have to be honest with you, heading into year 2, we're already feeling the weight of the incredible demand. The plan for the next year is to grow from 34 to somewhere between 75 and 85 apprentices from September 2026 through April 27. But I want to share the trajectory of what it seems the Lord has us on. By this time next year, Lord willing, we're looking at being around 150 apprentices. That's a doubling again. In 2 years' time, it seems we're on a trajectory where we will have gone from 34 apprentices to over 150. Friends, I want to say something carefully here. And I say it as much as a prayer request as anything else. We have thus far only presented our called and curious events to around 13 churches. 13 out of more than 400 churches across the country, let alone churches outside the Alliance that are also asking to participate with us. And the response has already pushed us on this trajectory to double, likely, Lord willing, twice. I'm praying about this. I'm sitting with it, but I want to share what I believe I'm sensing with you. I think the Lord may be inviting the Alliance Canada to be one of the primary movements on a trajectory to becoming the largest convener of those in pastoral formation across the entire country. And I say that cautiously, and I say that humbly. But I also say it because I think you need to be praying about this with me. Together, we need to be joining together. That God would continue to build and join and create this move of formation across our country. Because if that's where God is taking us, we want to be faithful to it. Where we're going requires all of us to be leaning in. The hunger is real. God is stirring people all across Canada with a genuine desire to pursue Him and His kingdom. And we've barely knocked on the front door of our own churches yet. So here's what you need to know if you or someone you know is sensing that stirring as well. Very soon, our Alliance Canada website will be updated with full information on next year's pathways. On April 23rd, Chris Thronis, our Director of Leader Formation, will host Zoom calls for churches and leaders and elders and apprentices who want to learn more. You can register for those calls on the Alliance Canada website. And on May 1st, applications are going live, and by the end of June, they're going to close. But as you've already heard, the demand is large. So we're gonna have more to share at Assembly, but if you're sensing a nudge, a stirring, maybe even a call, please check out the link on the website and pay attention to what Jesus is asking of you. On another note, in just a few days, we're launching a 42-day series on prayer as we lead up to our time together on General Assembly. You'll find more information online. There's going to be students that are going to be help facilitating our times. And this is another way where we join together in corporate prayer, seeking Jesus and inviting Him to lead and allowing us to respond to Him as we gather and seek His face at General Assembly. So please take advantage of that as well. Thirdly, Registration for General Assembly is also still live. I think we're 600 to 700 already registered. There's hundreds of students coming to the rally evening. So if you have not yet acknowledged and signed up your presence and your participation, please go to the website and do that. It's going to be a great time together. And now I want to share with you a story from the mission field, specifically tied to Rock Point Alliance Church. And so I invite you to watch this with me.
We never would have dreamed that this could be a part of our lives. The project started 60 years ago with Ed and Shirley Maxey. They were missionaries that went into Silimo village in Papua region in Indonesia. The Maxeys learned their language, the Ngalik language, and they created a written form of that language. They taught people literacy and began translating the Bible. It was very thrilling for Shirley to see them complete the New Testament, but she wasn't able to finish the Old Testament. The work was passed on to their son and daughter-in-law, Buzz and Myrna Maxey, who continued the translation. Altogether, the project took 60 years to complete, and we were able to be a part of that, which was a huge blessing. We had been going to spend time down in Arizona working with Wycliffe Bible translators, and this email arrived from Myrna Maxey, and she said that she had been working alongside some national translators, and they had walked 3 and more days through the jungle to bring their translated work to her. And they all sat on the kitchen floor and asked the question, who's going to type this? And when I read that, there was something that leaped in my heart. And I wrote to Myrna right away and said, could we type this here? And she wrote me back right away and said, absolutely. And let's make it a whole church project.
And in the bulletin, there was a mention of a possible project for keyboarders.
This is something I can use my skill set for.
But I was working. And then lo and behold, a couple weeks later, I got laid off and I went into early retirement. And I was, yay, I get to do this.
Here we are on this side of the ocean, about to do something that is going to impact the other side of the ocean. I want to be a part of this, yes.
And as you can see behind me, there is a group of people that are busy typing. And I've had the privilege of working with this great group and many others who have been actively participating in typing God's Word in another language.
Buzz and Myrna came to our church as a young married couple on their way out to the field, and we have taken an interest in their ministry ever since. We got to know them and to follow their ministry and their work in Papua New Guinea, and now to be involved in translating the Bible into people that they work with is pretty neat. Well, I remember that when I started typing, I used my own computer at home for a short while.
And then I was able to get 10 computers free of charge from where I was employed.
Ray was our computer whiz, and whenever we had problems with computers issues, he was right there to help us.
We were wondering, how are we going to get this material to us? And it just so happened, in the way that God does things, he had a group of men from our church that were going over to do work. And I phoned the man who was leading this team and said, would you be able to bring back a manuscript for us?
We didn't realize what we were getting ourselves into when we got over there. Buzz and Myrna had constructed a brand new house in Papua, and they asked for some help. They wanted help with their vehicle, which Hank took care of because Hank is a mechanic. They wanted a solar system.
You find out towards the end that it was a lot more than just a work trip. It was bringing back some original manuscript of the scriptures
This manuscript is handwritten, original. I think it was about 8 books of the Old Testament. It was about a stack of paper this big, weighed over 40 pounds. The way I felt was, us, me, it's like it's an honor. We would be part of this to bring back a portion of the Word of God. That was the most precious document that I'd ever handled in my life. That's how.
Oh, yeah. And when you think of the impact that it was going to have later on, incredible.
We always started our day with prayer. That was important for us. And we saw so many answers to prayer in the lives of some of the women that were involved.
It just occurred to me, one of the memorable moments was Heather's mom, who was in retirement center, and she would pray all day Monday when we were together. Yeah, she'd be praying for us.
Praying for one another, answered prayer, praying for those in Papua.
And doing that and having that group together like that, it almost ended up to be a small group.
Altogether, we had over 30 people that were volunteering. He provided in every way, and I saw that time and time again.
The dedication of the Gaelic Bible was in 2 different locations. Really was a culmination of probably 50 years, actually, of work.
And to watch the celebration and the dedication service was a very emotional time.
Heather and I wished we could have been there, but we were unable to go. Becky and Harvey Magellas took our spot, and Becky is Myrna's sister.
When they brought the boxes of Bibles out, the people just started wailing. It was just this deep, guttural, cultural sound of really joy.
And it is the Bible that will just transcend the ages with each person that reads and each person that shares and children that receive it from their parents.
I realized that along the way, so much transformation has happened. The little bit that gets translated in one particular book gets taught and changes people. It informs a culture, it transforms culture. It brings literacy, the whole process of doing this, and of getting people to be able to read so they can read this. So much cultural transformation occurs along with spiritual transformation, which is really the holistic transformational message of Jesus Christ.
I would say missions is everywhere.
I think there's many different ways that you can be involved in missions.
They get involved in a local church.
Many hands produced this, and he gave me the privilege of being one of them.
My gift usually is helping and serving. I'm not academic or anything like that, but I like to do things with my hand.
Finances are usually an issue, but not for God.
Take that first step. Go for it.
God uses us no matter what. If you just say, I'm available, where do you want me to be? He will open doors in an amazing way.
Don't count yourself out. Never say, well, I couldn't do it. Most of us who were doing this work were retired.
We're still available.
You know, these days with the students here, many wrestling with a call to vocational ministry, others sensing God's leading into the marketplace, we spent time in the story of Samuel, a young boy in the middle of the night hearing his name called. And Eli's simple counsel, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. And that phrase has stayed with me since we talked about it yesterday evening. Because wherever you find yourself today, it could be in difficulty, in joy, in the uncertainty of what comes next. I think that's still the right posture for all of us, isn't it? Not just these apprentices, not just our pastors, all of us. And we are a people who are listening. And we are a people who respond to Jesus when he speaks. just like Eli's instruction to Samuel. Our prayer would be corporately responding to Jesus when we would say, "Speak, Lord, your servants are listening." Have a great month, everyone, and we'll see you again very soon.